The 2019 NBA Draft is still about a half year away, but that shouldn't prevent Boston Celtics fans from getting to know the top prospects in this year's class. The Celtics, as of Tuesday's NBA standings, have 4 first-round picks in the 2019 draft. Those picks include Boston's own selection, the Sacrament Kings pick, the Memphis Grizzlies pick and the Los Angeles Clippers pick. ESPN draft expert Jonathan Givony released his latest 2019 NBA mock draft on Monday, and his projections for Boston's first-round picks are listed below. Keep in mind, the draft order ESPN used came from their Basketball Power Index, which predicts Boston to have 3, not 4, first-round picks in 2019. No. 9, via Sacramento, Keldon Johnson, SF, Kentucky. No. 18, via LA Clippers, PJ Washington, PF, Kentucky. Number 27, Luka Samanik, PF, Olympia Ljubljana, Slovenia. It certainly wouldn't be the worst thing for the Celtics to target Kentucky players. Wildcats head coach John Calipari does a great job preparing players for the pro game, and 7 of his players have been drafted over the last 2 seasons. Here's a list of those guys: De'Aaron Fox, number 5, 2017, Malik Monk, number 11, 2017, Bam Adebayo, number 14, 2017, Kevin Knox, number 9, 2018, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, number 11, 2018, Jared Vanderbilt, no. 41, 2018, Hamidou Diallo, no. 45, 2018. The Celtics hit on a Kentucky star in the 1996 draft when they took Antoine Walker. Boston's last 2 Kentucky draft picks, Ron Mercer in 1997 and James Young in 2014, were busts. It'll be interesting to see what the C's do with all of their 2019 draft picks. They already have a loaded roster with pretty much no minutes to spare. It's a good problem to have though, because this abundance of first-rounders gives Celtics President of Basketball Operations Danny Ainge plenty of ammo in the trade market. Click here to download the new My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Celtics easily on your device. Jason Tatum is one of the most talented young players in the NBA. But he's also realistic. If the Boston Celtics pursue a trade for Pelican superstar Anthony Davis this summer, there's a very good chance New Orleans would demand Tatum in return. The 20-year-old is the Celtics' no. 1 trade asset, after all, and the Pelicans would be silly to settle for anything less than a king's ransom in exchange for a player like Davis. Davis reveals what he wants most in NBA career, so, is landing Davis worth giving up Tatum? Celtics radio color commentator Cedric Maxwell believes so, and that led to a surprising admission from the player himself. As Maxwell explained to host Adam Kaufman on CLNS Celtics Beat podcast, Jason Tatum's father, Justin Tatum, took exception to Maxwell's insistence that Boston should trade his son in a heartbeat if it meant acquiring Davis. Maxwell continued, his story comes around the 40-minute mark of the podcast. Jason Tatum's dad came to me and said, "I've got a bone to pick with you. You said you'd trade my son for Anthony Davis, and I said, and he said, well, I probably would trade him too if he wasn't my son." Maxwell then took that story to Jason, who came right out with it. "Yeah, I'd trade me too for Anthony Davis," Tatum told Maxwell. Before Celtics fans take this the wrong way, Tatum isn't demanding a trade. He doesn't want out of Boston. He and his father simply are praising the talents of Davis, a transformative talent who's one of the top 5 players in the league. And if such a player becomes available, everyone should be on the table, even a budding young star like Tatum. Apparently no one knows this more than Tatum himself. Score 1 for self-awareness. Click here to download the new My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Celtics easily on your device. Boston, coming into Monday's game against Brooklyn, Gordon Hayward was playing some of his best basketball as a Celtic. He kicked off the new year with a season-high 35 points in a win over Minnesota, and followed that up with a near triple-double, 16 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, in Boston's victory over Dallas. But Those strong performances came with the team's leader scorer, Kyrie Irving, out with an eye injury, which only added more fuel to the small bonfire of fans who don't believe Hayward and Irving can each play well on the same night. Let Monday's 116-95 win over Brooklyn be the first salvo to combat that theory. Irving didn't play in the fourth quarter against the Nets and still managed to lead the Celtics in scoring with 17 points, more Celtics when it comes to three-point shooting. Practice makes perfect for Marcus Smart is for Hayward, a key cog in Boston's balanced scoring attack that featured 8 players in double figures. He had 12 points, 4 rebounds and 2 assists off the bench. Neither player had tremendously strong numbers, in part because the Celts built a huge lead that peaked at 24 points and coach Brad Stevens was able to give playing time to everyone on the bench. No Celtic played more than Irving's 27-50, but in the time Hayward and Irving were on the floor together, 14 minutes, 27 seconds to be exact, both managed to impact the game without getting in the other's way, with the Celtics being +3 during that time. However, those who question how the two would play as a tandem are justified when you look at Hayward's numbers this season when Irving has not been around. In 3 games without Irving, Hayward has averaged 21.3 points, 4.3 rebounds and 6.7 assists while shooting 54.8% from the field and 38.9% from three-point range. All those numbers are significantly better than his season averages in those respective categories, and with Hayward doing his work as a reserve, that provides yet another challenge for foes when facing the Celtics. More Celtics. Aaron Baines could be back in the lineup as early as next week. I think of when Manu Ginobili came off the bench in San Antonio, an all-star coming off the bench, said Nets coach Kenny Atkinson when asked about Hayward. It's a smart move by Brad. I know it causes matchup problems for us. Celtics big man Aaron Baines spent 3 years, 2012-15, as a teammate of Ginobili's in San Antonio. I think Gordon would like that comparison. He's Ginobili, the reason he wears number 20, right? Baines said. Hopefully, he can keep his ascent going right now. He's getting more comfortable, filling that role perfectly. So yeah, he definitely comes in and adds another level to the team, which is what Manu did every single time he stepped on the court. That would be great if Gordon keeps heading towards that, and to do it as Irving does. Kyrie Irving like things makes Hayward's progress even sweeter for Boston. It's very important, said Al Horford. I don't think one thing is going to affect the other. I just think that Gordon is starting to be like himself again. He feels more comfortable, he's more confident, he's starting to attack the basket more. That's good to see. Click here to download the new My Teams app by NBC Sports. Receive comprehensive coverage of your teams and stream the Celtics easily on your device.